Hey everyone, Joe Capsule Flores here from Capsule Entertainment, and I've been getting a few requests for explanation on how the new Eureka EX game works and the system that was added to this version that was at EVO 2017. So yeah, let's jump right into it. I would love to explain this to you guys and go into a little bit more on that and my thoughts of the game overall. All right. So first up, let's take a look at the moves of each of the characters that were in the demo. First up, they had Hokuto, next Garuda, and lastly Kairi. Those were the three playable characters at EVO 2017 at their booth. And yeah, just take a look at the moves there. If you're familiar with any of the EX games from the past, it pretty much feels very similar. Just all those moves are in the game, all those supers are in the game. What's something that was different to this was they had the classic mode, which is basic Street Fighter stuff, or EX stuff in general. Movements, fireballs, DPs, 360 motions, etc. But they also had this progressive mode, which is kind of like a little like an easy mode, kind of like Smash Brothers. You just push one direction and hit a button. Up, down, left, right, whatever, diagonal, and then the moves would come out, and you didn't really have to have any like high execution or anything like that. It's kind of we've seen this before. It's nothing new. Kind of easy. It's good for people that are just trying to get into fighting games that don't know what they're doing. So yeah, next they had on the next page of their little booklet they were handing out, they had basic controls, special controls, and a little explanation on their new system. So up, down, left, right, pretty much the jump, crouch, move back, move forward you see in past EX games. And then throwing in this game is performed by light punch, light kick, kind of like third strike. And that's how you break them as well. And they have this move called hard attack by pressing the two mediums, which is medium punch, medium kick. What this is if you're familiar with the past EX games, with the unblockable move that uses one bar of super, that's pretty much what this move is, except for now it's an overhead move that hits crouching opponents. Instead of it being completely unblockable. So yeah, kind of useful, kind of like third strike, universal overhead move that everybody has. Yeah, and in the first version of the game that showed off, there was a sidestep, and I was trying to figure this out for maybe about an hour or two into the first day of the game. And that was supposedly performed with heavy punch and heavy kick. But then after trying to figure it out, I decided to ask them, how to do it or if it's still in the game. Turns out that they removed it from the game. I didn't ask them why, because their English wasn't that good. So I had to use very broken, simple English to try and talk to them, and or just explain anything to them or ask them simple questions. So yeah, just finding out that it wasn't in the game at all was a little bit harder than I expected. But yeah, they pretty much told me that it's not in the game. They took it out. So yeah, whether or not it's coming back or not, who knows? But honestly, in my opinion, I don't even really care. With it, it may have been a thing, I don't know, but without it, it definitely feels more like an EX game, and that feels right at home with me. I can do all the same stuff, the same fundamental, setups and Street Fighter stuff as before without the sidestep. So, I mean, it feels like EX, and who knows if sidestep, was too good or if something was wrong with it, or they just kind of wanted to keep it simple. Who knows? But it's not in the game. If it's coming back, who knows? I don't care. Felt great without it. Not a big deal. Still an awesome game. I love it. And yeah, so sidestep's no longer in the game. Special controls. You got dashing. You got backstepping. It's pretty much dashing or running, and then backdashing. They have teching, which is this should be called ground teching or fall teching, knockdown teching or something. and it's performed by hitting any punch button before being knocked down. But when I was playing and I was using kicks to do the tech, it was working. So maybe this was worded wrong on this little instruction manual they're passing out. I was hitting any button and tech was working. So I don't know if they know that or not. Who knows? But yeah, this is pretty much a tech roll or a safe fall, whatever, in the game. That's something that I really wanted back in the day for Street Fighter EX, and that it didn't have. And Street Fighter EX 2, now that I think about it. Because after getting knocked down, it was kind of like, oh, you know, you're knocked down. It kind of slowed the game down like a lot, you know. You have to like, you're constantly getting like, you know, mixed up after you're getting knocked down, and there's a lot of like broken stuff in those games, so I felt like, you know, it needed some kind of tech roll, some kind of safe fall, something like that. And you know, hey, in this version they have it, so I was really pleased with that. That really sped up the game a lot, and it kept things a little more fresh and a lot less broken, honestly. Easy combo, activated by repeatedly pressing light attacks from a dash. So you just dash and you push, you know, jab, 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 or supposedly even light kick, and you'll do like an easy combo. That's kind of whatever. I didn't use it because, you know, I don't need to. I already know how to do combos, but you know, for people that use progressive control method and stuff, maybe the easy comboing might be kind of cool to them. If they don't really know how to play fighting games, you know, that might be something that they find really cool. I didn't use it. Nobody really cared about it when I was there. So, you know, these are all like, you know, high level or pretty much people that already know how to play fighting games to some extent. Chain combos performed by pressing light, medium, heavy attacks in order. And well, that's pretty self-explanatory, but what I did find is that you cannot go from punches to kicks or from kicks to punches with this, kind of like Marvel. You can only do a kick chain or a punch chain. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Super combos, there's supers in the game. What else do I need to say? There's supers in the game. You just do your motion and a super will come out once you have meter. Super cancel, you could do this from canceling a normal, special, or even super move into another super move. So yeah, super canceling is really cool in this game. It's really unique to Street Fighter EX, or it was back in the day. What made it really cool is that you could cancel the super into another super, you know. That was kind of cool. And for the most part, it wasn't very useful back in the days, but just being able to do it is really nice. It makes things a lot more interesting. Alright, and then next up they have, on the next page, something called the Gogi system, and like the icons, the Gogi icons they were calling them. And it's pretty much on the bottom of the screen and shows you what abilities you have access to, and each have their own meter, and the meter is actually around the icon itself. It's a bar that circles the icon, and once the bar builds up, it, you know, flashes and lets you know that, you know, this ability is ready to use. So we'll go into a bit more how to activate those. Alright, so the Gogi system there is composed of a bunch of decks, what they call. And the decks are just move sets that each type of deck will get. And let's just start off with Juggernaut. Juggernaut, use your invincible body to unleash a fatal attack. So pretty much Juggernaut is more like a super armor, like all up in your face kind of deck. It could be really good for grapplers like Darun and just anyone that's all up in your face at all times. But Juggernaut has the ability called Hades, and it's triggered by taking 300 points of damage. So after you take 300 points of damage, this will activate. One thing to keep in mind, once these abilities activate, they are active for the entire game. Okay? The entire game. Think about that. You can activate them in round 1, and they'll stay active for the entire time. You don't have to reactivate them. Okay. So after you take 300 points of damage, whether it be round 1, round 2, whatever, this Hades effect of super armor will stay active throughout the whole game. Okay. They also have guard break. It's triggered by performing 4 heart attacks. And if you remember correctly, the heart attacks are the 2 medium punches that I showed in the top left corner. That are the overheads, the overhead, universal overhead moves. So you just have to perform 4 of those on the opponent. And what it says here is hit or blocked. So I found this to be correct. You can activate it by performing it, and if it on hit, it counts as 1 point, and if they block it, it counts as a 1 point as well. So all you gotta do is just do the move and have it connect in some way or form, and you'll get a point for guard break. The explanation on the manual here is a little bit wrong. It says perform them, but yeah, you cannot whiff them to activate the guard break effect. And what the effect is once it becomes active, the heavy attack that was an overhead now becomes unblockable, like the old EX games. So I thought that was really cool. You know, that was one of the first things I was trying to activate and, you know, get on people. I was trying to knock them down and then time the, you know, on meaty wake up. I was trying to, you know, get the unblockable and then do like a combo. And I was actually pulling it off in the beginning, and people like in the crowd were just like, whoa, and like, you know, kind of like cheering and stuff like that. But it was kind of cool, you know, when I was messing with it. But later on, I found better stuff. Meter up, which is triggered by attacking your opponent 10 times, hit or blocked. So, you know, as long as it's blocked, you'll get it. And it increases super meter gains by 30%. Pretty easy to get. Next up, they have speed up, which is triggered by allowing 10 seconds to pass in the game. I don't know how much easier it is to get than that. All you gotta do is just play the game for 10 seconds against an opponent, and then it'll automatically just trigger, and you'll get movement speed up by 10%. Attack up, triggered by building 1 bar of super. You're pretty much going to get this too, guaranteed 100%. All you got to do is just build 1 meter, and you'll get 15% damage increase. Kind of weird as they're experimenting with these things a little bit. They're kind of like what? Like why is this even in the game? You know, it's kind of a little bit weird, but pretty much speed up and attack up are guaranteed for Juggernaut. A meter up, if you don't really know how to play the game and you're just getting bodied, you probably won't get it, but you know, it's easy to get if you just mash buttons out, I guess. So yeah, Juggernaut, in the beginning I was getting really annoyed by it, because once Hades was activated, which is the super armor ability, it completely changed the way that I had to play the game. I couldn't hit any normals anymore. I couldn't play any footsies. You know, I couldn't jump in, or I couldn't cross up. I couldn't do anything, because anything that I did, you know, it would just be super armored, and then, you know, they would just punish me because I was like on recovery. So I was getting really annoyed by people that were playing Juggernaut early on, day 1. So yeah. All right, next up, I'll go with Infinity. Go wild with infinite super meter. You know, that sounds pretty crazy right there already, but it gets an ability called Rage, and it's triggered by using 7 bars of super meter. And if you just use them, it doesn't matter if you hit, it doesn't matter if you miss. All you gotta do is just activate them 7 times, and you'll gain infinite super meter. That's pretty wild, you know. And a lot of people were, you know, talking about like, oh wow, that's kind of cool, that's kind of cheap. And in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I need to experiment a little bit more, and then, you know, I'll see if it's really actually that broken, if there's a way around it or not. But turned out to be really good. They also get guard cancel, block 30 times, and you'll be able to do it's called a guard cancel. My bad. You'll be able to perform a guard cancel, which is basically an alpha counter, and all you gotta do is be in block stun, and then do a special move or a super move while in block stun, and it will pretty much give you an alpha counter. Doing special moves were absolutely for free, so you pretty much had infinite alpha counters for free. once you activate guard cancel. But if you wanted to do like a super alpha counter, then it would cost 1 meter to do. Alright, and they also have meter up times 3, but the first two are the same type. They activate by attacking your opponent 10 times, hit or blocked, so it doesn't matter if you hit or block them, it'll activate. The first two gain 30% from that. The last one, you actually have to hit your opponent 10 times to get the other 30% of meter up. So you get like all this meter building from Infinity on top of infinite meter once you activate it. So like all you gotta do is just round one, just like start attacking like crazy, and you'll pretty much get like meter up like 90%, and then just start spamming super moves, and then you'll eventually get rage, which will give you infinite supers. I mean, at first I thought, you know, that's cool, but like if you can't even land it on someone or against someone really good, it doesn't even make too much of a difference. There's probably some way around it, I was thinking, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be that broken, right? Right, yeah, whatever. So, next up we have Aggro, recommended for aggressive attackers. Alright, so they get Rampage, which is triggered by inflicting 40 damage in one combo. Might be a little bit hard for people that don't know how to play fighting games, but, you know, for people that do, not so bad, I guess. All you gotta do is pull off a combo, have it do 40 damage, and you'll get Rampage. Damage increases the more you attack. That sounds really good, right? This was actually the first deck that I was using. Illusion, which is triggered by taking 300 points of damage. So pretty much the same thing as Hades. All you gotta do is just take 300 points of damage and it'll become active. The effect is become able to escape combos once per round. And what this is basically a combo breaker. So after you take 300 points of damage, Illusion activates. And once per round, if somebody pulls off a combo on you, it will automatically just break it. That's cool, but what if I don't want to break that combo? You know what I mean? What if they're doing some stupid combo that doesn't even do that much damage, you know? You could easily bait someone's illusion effect that they get once per round out by doing something really shitty. And then after they don't have illusion anymore, you could just bust out a big combo on them and there's nothing that they can do about it with this effect. So I felt like illusion is cool, but at the same time, it's kind of crap too, because you can't even control it. It just activates on its own. That's pretty bad. Chip up. Inflict 40 points of chip damage. Increase chip damage by 2. So yeah, all you gotta do is just, you know, spam special moves or something like that, and have it do 40 points of chip damage, and chip up will activate, and you'll get extra chip damage. That could be kind of cheap now that I think about it. But yeah, I didn't really find it like too useful. Attack up times 2. So yeah, build one bar of super, my bad, and you'll get attack up. So once you build one super, they both activate. So that's kind of cool. Shinobi, move stealthily like a ninja and surprise your opponents. Shinobi was actually a really popular deck early on, day one, because it had this effect called Ghost. And Ghost is basically triggered by avoiding your opponent's attacks for 6 seconds. So all you gotta do is just like turtle, run away for 6 seconds, and Ghost will activate, and then you'll gain invisibility from dashing for 10 frames, and it stays active for 1.5 seconds. So after you run away for 6 seconds and you get Ghost active, if you anytime that you dash for 10 frames, you'll become invisible for 1.5 seconds. And how I found this to be useful is by knocking someone down, and then I'll dash up while they're waking up, and I'll be invisible, and I'll cross them up, or I'll grab them, or I'll even like dash up, and dash back as a mix-up, and they'll like whiff something, try to like DP me because they know that I'm gonna like dash up, grab, or something like that, and then they'll completely whiff. So there's a lot of mix-up game with Ghost. Really cool effect. They also have guard cancel, so block 30 times, and you'll be able to perform a super, like a alpha counter. either a special one or a super one. So that was really, really good. Guard break, so they also get the same ability that Juggernaut gets. Perform 4 hard attacks, hit or block, and your heavy attack will become a guard break. And they also get speed up and attack up. So that's really cool. I thought it was a really, really all-around good, deck, and I used it quite a bit throughout the time I was there playing the game. Next up, we have Miracle. Unlock all your skills at once with this dream deck. And after a while, I started looking at this deck a little bit more, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool because it gets this ability called Overload. And what Overload is it's triggered by maintaining a full super bar for 20 seconds. So all you do is build meter, get 3 bars of super max meter, and just hold it for 20 seconds. And then once that happens, you'll activate all the next abilities that I'm about to list off. So you get Hades, you get super armor. Okay. You can also activate this by doing the prerequisites that are needed for Hades, but Overload will activate all of these without having to do any of those, just from having full meter for 20 seconds. So you'll get Hades, you'll get Illusion, which is that combo breaker thing, which I didn't think was really that good. You'll get Guard Cancel, which is actually really good, and you'll get Guard Break, which could be useful. So yeah, pretty good all around deck. So there you have it. We got Juggernaut, we got Infinity, we got Aggro, Shinobi, and Miracle. Later, in the beginning, I'm just going to say this now. In the beginning, when I first started playing this day 1, I thought that Juggernaut was actually really, really, really good and kind of borderline broken. But then as I started playing a little bit more, I started to find more things, and I realized that Juggernaut is really not as good as I thought. Let's see, where do I even begin with this? So I couldn't even play the game once the opponent started activating Hades. They started getting super armor, and I couldn't play footsies anymore. I couldn't even land any combos anymore because super armor was just absorbing everything. This was really annoying me in the very beginning, as I was picking a lot of Shinobi, and I just couldn't land anything. So I was like, man, I need an answer for this Juggernaut, and a lot of people in the beginning were like saying, oh yeah, Juggernaut's broken, infinite super armor, Juggernaut's broken, and it started to annoy me, and I started like, I can see like why you guys saying this is broken, but I was like, there has to be a way around this, there has to be, right? So then I started playing. I noticed that they only got super armor when an opponent performed a normal attack on them. So, like just light punch, heavy kick, medium punch, anything like that, right? But special moves and super moves were not absorbed from Juggernaut. And on top of that, even though you get hit by something and you had super armor, you still took the damage from it. It's just that, once you try to poke someone out or something like that, they could just whiff punish you with the super armor, which is, really cool. But I was like, wow, if that's the case, all you gotta do is just spam special moves, and even better, all you gotta do is just spam super moves. And I was like, wait a minute, there's already a deck called Infinity that lets you do that. So I was like, okay, there's an answer for Juggernaut then, that's really good. Let me try this out. Started playing around with more Infinity, and building the meter was like really easy. All I was doing, was just attacking them and, just getting the meter up and just, spamming supers until I unlocked the infinite super moves, and then at that point it was really hard for Juggernaut to even play themselves because like the super armor pretty much didn't even exist anymore. So yeah, like I was like, and then after a while I was like, yeah, that's really good against Juggernaut. If somebody picked Juggernaut, you counter pick them, right? Then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, I mean, keep in mind, it's only been like day 1, the beginning of day 2, and I'm just like, wait a minute. If they could infinite spam supers, shouldn't they be able to like infinite super cancel as well, leading to like infinite combos? Or like if you put someone in block stun, can't they just infinite block stun you with super canceling over and over and over and over and over again. And I was like, I was asking my friend, I was like, hey, have you messed around with infinite? Can you? Is there a limit to like how many times you could super cancel? And he's like, oh, I don't know. He's like, I've been messing around with Shinobi. You know, and I keep in mind, I had been at the booth all day since early in the morning till late at night. I had seen absolutely everyone, you know, using all this stuff, and I had not seen anyone doing any infinite super cancels. They were doing, like, you know, a lot of people were doing what I was doing right here, which was infinite super spamming, but nobody was really canceling them. So I was like, I think Infinity is broken, man. Like, I started thinking of a lot of things in my head, and I was like, I think this is cheap as all hell. I was like, not only does it beat what was originally thought to be cheap, but it beats, you know, it beats pretty much everything in the game. And then I was like, I called my friend over. I got online and I was like, hey, come over here. I need to test this out. Because if you could infinite super cancel over and over and over again, and they block it, and you have the life lead, you could just put them in infinite block stun forever, and they can't do anything, right? So he tried Juggernaut, because, you know, he was playing Juggernaut at the time. And then we tried it out, and sure enough, he couldn't even get out of it. And once I popped the infinite super, you know, ability, Rage, I just kept super canceling over and over and over and over again. And, you know, he could not get out. The only way to get out was just to get hit or something, or just something ridiculous, right? So, like, something like that. So, like, I was like, wow, that's cheap. And I was like, wow, this is definitely the most broken deck in the game. And I was like, wait, you know, there has to be a way around this. They can't just leave this in the game. There has to be some way to get around this infinity, you know, deck. And I was like, wait, you know, there's an alpha counter, right? Yeah, I was like, yeah, they call it guard canceling. So I was like, well, if you could guard cancel the super, then it's not infinite anymore, right? You could just break it, right? So I was like, cool, you know, so like what decks have guard canceling? And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, Shinobi has it. That's cool. Shinobi's a really good deck. And I was like, yeah, that makes it Shinobi even really like that much better. And I was like, oh, Juggernaut doesn't have it, so they're pretty much screwed. And then Aggro doesn't have it, so they're pretty much screwed too, right? So I was like, okay, well, there go those two decks. And then Miracle has it, so I was like, oh, cool, Miracle's actually really useful then too. You know, it beats, you know, it pretty much beats Infinity. So I was like, okay, Infinity's not that broken, you know, as long as, you know, you have guard cancel. But then I looked at Infinity, and Infinity had guard cancel too, and I was like, oh my god, you know, like, why would they give one deck this most broken thing in the game, and then give them the answer to it as well? So not only can they do it, but they can break it as well. I was like, wow, man, like, after that, I was like, wow, hands down, Infinity is the most broken deck in the game. You could do infinite supers and infinite, like, block stun, super canceling. You pretty much, and then if anybody tries to do it to you, you could break it too. But then they could break it too. So, man, it changed the way the whole game was played. In the beginning, it was a very honest game, day one. But, like, day two, after I had broke the system, oh my god, like, we figured out, like, the game was extremely broken. And there was pretty much only one way to play the game, and that was by playing Infinity and just countering the infinites. And it just became retarded. Like, it was just, like, really stupid at, you know, high level play. And let me just skip over to the video where me and my friend Pavocado were actually trying it out. And I called my friend Pavocado, another friend of mine, Pavocado, and I was like, hey, you know, this thing is really broken. This deck, Infinity. Come test it out with me real quick. So, you know, we both pick it, and he's playing Kyrie and I'm playing Garuda. So I'm just like, I think Garuda's like really cheap with Infinity, and I think if Infinity is really broken. So there I go, doing a whole bunch of, like, you know, like super cancels and trying to build up Rage for the most part. This is actually really late in the match, like round 2. The first game, he actually, you know, he actually beat me, which was really good. Kyrie's really good, so, you know, he has really good fundamentals, really easy to do. So there I go, I pop Infinity, and I try to do a super cancel, and he breaks it, so I'm like, okay, cool, it works, you know, it's not as broken as I thought. But against, like, a deck that doesn't have guard cancel, it's really broken. So, you know, there, as you can see, I was just keeping him in the corner, just kept super canceling over and over and over and over again. And I was like, wow, this is really cheap. If you don't have guard cancel, then you're pretty much screwed. The game's over for you if you have the life lead. The game, if you don't have the life lead. So yeah, there I super, and he's pretty much stuck. I mean, I told him, you know, the only way to do this is to use guard cancel. So I was like, just try to guard cancel me and let's just see if I can manipulate this and try and like bait you out or something. So there, I was trying to bait him out. He tried to guard cancel. He kind of messed it up, but I was actually trying to like bait it out to see if it'll work, and it actually does work, as you can see later on in this video. Okay, so here I go, super. See, I baited out the guard cancel, and he completely whiffed, and I could have punished him right there. So yeah, as you can see, Infinity is really cheap. Not only can you lock your opponent down with infinite like supers, but you can break them too. And with the right character, which I found to be Garuda, you can even bait out the guard cancel and punish them. So I was like, wow, Garuda with Infinity is just the most top tier strategy in the game right now. But yeah, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I had really fun playing this game. I talked to the creators and the staff about this game. You know, I told them, hey, this is really good. You know, you need to change this, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna change it. You know, it's not complete. We're just experimenting with a lot of different ideas and stuff. So I was like, that's cool. You know, at least they're seeing, you know, what's broken, and they're paying attention, and they're listening to us, and they're gonna go back. They're gonna fix it. And who knows, by the time you see this game next time, it will be different. You know, things will change and a lot more balanced and a lot more fun and more fair. That's for sure. But yeah, please like and subscribe to my channel and all my videos. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'll just leave all that information for you below, so I don't have to keep repeating myself on that stuff. I'll leave it all in the description below if you want to follow me and what we do out here in Northern California for our tournaments. We will be live streaming soon our events, so if you want to keep up with Northern California's fighting game community and everything that we do, yeah, just follow us every week. See us on Facebook or follow me on Twitter. So yeah, thanks guys for watching and tuning in, and next video I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.